Hi class, it's me again for another video presentation with regards to our subject. But before we proceed, I would like to say some reminders that if you have a question, you can just type it on our comment section, or if not, you can save it and you can raise it when we are going to meet in our synchronous session. So please watch till the end. In this video, we are going to talk about Chapter 1. And Chapter 1 speaks of the historical background and basic concepts of industrial security management. So, let's start. We have here a question. It says here, what is security? Security is a state or condition of being safe or free from fear, harm, danger, loss, destruction, or damages. So meaning, if you feel that you are not safe, then there is no security. If you are experiencing fear, then we can say that there is no security. Okay, so in order for us to consider or to say that there is an existence of security, then these conditions must occur. So it must be safe, it must be free from fear, okay, and those other instances. So that is security. Next one, why does man need security? Of course, we need security because hindi natin alam. Usually, yung mga tao na nasa paligid natin, yung iniisip nila, 'di ba? So hindi mo naman makikita kung ano yung iniisip ng isang tao eh. So in order for us to not for us to be harmed or our properties not to be destroyed, okay? Not to be involved in destructions. So yun, we need to make ourselves or should make ourselves aware of security. So yun, it is against other person and also by nature. Okay, so usually in other person, 'di ba, meron yung sa atin may galit sa atin siguro. Kaya yun, yung pag-iisipan kang saktan. Meron din yung greedy na mga tao. Okay? Sobrang insecure, naiinggit sa'yo. So yun, para wala nang aagaw or wala nang dahil sa inggit nila sa'yo, ikaw na lang ay pag-iisipan ng masama. Or sa katulad ninyo na mga mayayaman, di ba? Dahil sa inyo na mga mayayaman, you are prone to this example, economic reasons. Okay, dahil sa kayo ay mayaman, meron silang mananakaw sa inyo, kaya yon, you are prone to be a victim of theft or robbery. Okay, just unlike me, na walang kapera-pera or walang mananakaw, that's why I am not prone to that kinds of crime. Okay, just kidding. So actually, we are all, we can be all victim of those crimes. So wala pong pinipili, di ba? Kahit meron kang pera or wala, pwede ka pa rin maging victim. Ang pinakamasaklap pa nga dyan, yung maging biktima ka, wala ka pang maibigay, nako, wala talaga. Okay? So, pag nanakawan ka nga, wala ka na pang maibigay. Walang mananakaw sa'yo. So, nang gagawin, nanakawin na lang ang buhay mo. So, that is just an example. Okay, so, as I've mentioned a while ago, it is not only against another man, okay, against another person, but also it is against nature. Kasi yun nga sabi natin kanina, security is free from destruction or free from loss. So yun, sometimes natural disasters, nature usually ang cause or nagbibigay ng state of distractions, okay, or pagkasira, okay, ng ating mga ari-arian, di ba? Kasi we also include or we also make sure to secure our things, not only ourselves but also our properties, di ba? We involve them to be secured also. So yun, we need to be secured from those kind of natural disasters also. So not only against another person. That's it for that part. Next is we are going to proceed already with the history of industrial security here in the Philippines. So dito sa Pilipinas, magsimula tayo nung Spanish era. So during the Spanish era, meron yung tinatawag nila na hacienderos. So ano yung mga hacienderos na ito? Sino ang mga to? So usually they are the owners of large tract of lands. So sila yung mga mayayaman noon. Sila yung mga nagmamayari ng malalawak na lupain noong time ng mga Spanish. And then ano yung ginagawa nila? They hire farm workers. And what are the functions of those farm workers? They act as protectors also of those property of those haciendero against cattle rustlers and robbers. So yun. Um, Makikita nyo na dyan the practice of security, di ba? And yung mga gumagawa dyan or nagtatrabaho as protectors are yung mga farm workers. Yan. That is during the time of the Spanish era. Okay? So, nagsimula sa mga farm workers. And then, during the American period naman, in the late 1950s, so dyan na nagsimula naman yung pag-hire nila ng armed security personnel. So, usually mga Filipino. That is during the American era. That is just after the World War II, 1950s. End of World War II. So yun ang ginagawa nila, they hired armed security personnel in order na bantayan yung mga mining areas nila. So with that, ang mga security workers then they are still under city mayors or town mayors during that time. Mayors din po ang nag-i-issue ng working permits nila. And they are the ones who are granting parang yung license to exercise professions nung mga security guards na yun or security workers. But now, dahil po sa RA 5487, napalitan na po yung proseso. So, hindi na po yung city mayors or town mayors yung nag-i-issue ng mga working permits nila, but the PNP. So, we are going to discuss further on that later on. Next here is the PADPAW. So, ano ba itong PADPAW? So, ang PADPAW ay stands for Philippine Association of Detective and Protective Agency Operators. So, yan yung PADPAW. So, it is a self-governing, self-regulating, and self-policing. So, yun, it is the organization of all security practitioners in the Philippines, whether they are a private detective, whether they are a security guard, or whether they are the owner or manager of a private security agency. So yan yung PADPAW. PADPAW also sometimes they create policies that the security or the members should abide with those policies. Okay? And also not only policies but also some programs for them to promote and develop high standards for their security members. Okay, so that is the PADPAW. So take note, it is a private institution or private organization of those security practitioners in the Philippines. So, hindi po siya under ng PNP. So, madidiscuss natin mamaya yung PNP SOSHA. So, yan po yung under ng PNP. By the way, itong PADPAW, di ba? If you try to remember, if you try to look at it, meron yan, PADPAW na yan, makikita nyo yan sa mga uniforms. Yung logo na yan, makikita nyo sa mga uniforms ng security guards, di ba? So, yan ay patunay na yung security agency nila is recognized by the PADPAW. Kung may makikita kang ganyan na logo. So that is PADPAW. So that, by the way, that starts in the year 1958. Okay? So yan, in the year 1969, lumabas na po itong RA 5487 na ito. So that was the time of the late President Ferdinand Marcos. So that is, to be exact, that is in June 29, 1969. So ano nga ba itong RA 5487? So ito po ay yung tinatawag nila na private security law, or in other they call it as private security agency law. So it started the professionalization of the security or if of security works in the country, in the Philippines. So just like in the police organization, you've learned the law that creates or professionalizes the PNP, the RA 6975 and RA 8551, di ba? In the security profession naman, industrial security here in the Philippines, meron tayo yung RA 5487. So, ito naman yung pioneering law kung saan nag-start na na-professionalize ang security practice in the Philippines. Lamang sa pinalitan niyan is yung um, function ng city mayor and then town mayors. So, hindi na po sila yung nag-supervise ng security practitioners here in the Philippines during that time. Pinalitan na ng RA 5487. So, we are going to discuss it further. Meron pa dito, meron tayong facts dito. Let's try to take a look on it. The role of the industrial security business is indispensable. Why does it says here that indispensable? Bakit kaya? Indispensable, in other words, pinaka-importante or hindi pwedeng alisin. It is very necessary. So, bakit kaya? Just take a look here in our environment. Pag pumunta ka sa mall, meron ka bang makikitang pulis doon na nagjo-duty? Pulis ba ang nagjo-duty doon, nagro-ronda, nag-implement ng peace doon sa malls? No, actually, right? So, security guards mismo yung nag-i-implement or nagbabantay doon. Okay, nag-ooperate doon in order to maintain peace and order in that certain malls. Diba? So, just imagine if you are going to research on the current strength of Philippine National Police, if you compare it with the strength of in the security guards here in the Philippines, makikita mo yung difference. Actually, mas marami po. Estimated ang PNP, they have 250,000 strength or personnel. While security guards almost triple. Okay, thrice the strength of the PNP. So, that is just only estimated. Pero kung titignan mo naman, di ba, sa dinami-dami ng malls, napakaraming security. Halos lahat ng private establishments, security guards yung nagbabantay. Wala kang makikita na police or private, law enforcement officer na naka-duty din. Usually, employed by the private companies itself or private business establishment itself, nag-i-employ sila ng mga security guards nila. So, that's it for this part. So, kapag tinanggal mo yan, wala nang kaagapay or kaagapay ang PNP and AFP in maintaining peace and order here in the Philippines. Actually, the security workers, sila yung katulong ng PNP and AFP in maintaining peace and order here in the Philippines. Pati na rin national security. Kasi yung function nila actually is parang trabaho rin ng pulis, di ba? Trabaho ng pulis, magronda. Nagro-ronda din ng mga security guard, di ba? Nagpapatrol. Nag-i-intel din yung mga yan. Mga security guards natin, nag-i-intel din yung mga yan. Pati yung mga PNP officers. Nag-i-intel nga sila pero doon sa mas maliit yung scope nila. Nag-i-intel nila para dun sa kanilang pinagtatrabuhan. Unlike in police officers, national in scope siya. So, yun lang naman yung pagkakaiba. The scope. Pero yung function, always the same. Almost the same. Diba? So, indispensable po ang trabaho or ang security function here in the Philippines. Security in every organization is everybody's business. Sabi naman dyan sa pangalawa. Bakit kaya? Okay, so in school, hindi lang po ang concern sa security ay ang mga security guards. No, hindi po. Lahat po ng personnel doon sa school, let's say the faculty, the students, the admin, the non-working or non-teaching staff, they are in charge or they are also concerned with security. Kasi hindi naman po ang mga security guards ay nababantayan tayo sa bawat oras, sa bawat galaw natin dun sa loob ng campus. Diba? So yun, you should need also to be aware or to be alert. Okay, you should need to be aware also to secure yourself. Okay, huwag mong iaasa sa mga security guards. So, hindi ibig sabihin na kapag ikaw ay napagnakawan sa school, sisisihin mo ay ang mga security guard. Ano ba yan? Hindi naman ninyo napagnakawan ako dito sa school pa naman. Hindi nyo ginagawa yung trabaho nyo. You cannot say that actually. Because sabi nga dyan, security is everybody's concern. So, concern mo rin yan. Kung nawala mo yung cellphone mo, naging pabaya ka, nilagay mo dyan sa table mo, walang lock pa naman, or sabihin natin na napakaraming tao dyan, mga classmate mo, hindi mo kilala yung mga classmate mo actually. So, yun, nawala mo yung cellphone mo. You cannot put the blame on the security officer or security guard alone. Masisisi mo din dyan yung sarili mo. In the first place, sarili mo yung masisisi mo dyan. So that's it for the facts about security. Next is, we have the famous personalities here in the field of industrial security management. So nandyan, number 1, si Alan Pinkerton. So it was in the year 1851. Sinabi dyan, he is the one who established the first national private security and investigation company in the US. So yan yung tinatawag niya or tinawag niya na Pinkerton National Detective Agency. So remember, Alan Pinkerton, he is the one who established the first national private security and investigation company in the US. That is in the year 1851. Second naman na kilala dito is si August Pope. Okay, yung contribution ni August Pope and Edwin Holmes na ito is related. So parehas po na burglar alarm system yung ginawa nila. Yun nga lang mas nauna si August Pope. If you take a look, 1853 and 1858. So sumunod lang po dyan si Edwin Holmes. So ano nga ba itong ginawa nila? Si August Pope, meron siyang disenyo he is the one who first designed a burglar alarm or created a burglar alarm. And si Edwin Holmes naman, parang in-improve niya yung ginawa ni August Pope. So actually yan yung nasa picture, siya yung gumawa niyan. Pero yung nasa papel na yun, yung parang design na yun, if you take a look, yun, makikita nyo na parang yun ay yung design ni August Pope. And then itong output, yung makikita nyo na invention na yan, is yan yung ginawa ni Edwin Holmes. So actually, dinevelop niya lang yung trabaho ni August Pope na yan. And hindi lang po niya yan ginamit inside his residence, but also he used it in different establishments. So, katulad na sa mga bangko, central stations. So, yun, in-implement na yung alarm system. So, we are going to talk more about alarm system as we go on. Next is Washington Perry Brinks. So, ano naman yung naging contribution ni Washington Perry Brinks? So, he was popularized in 1858. And then yung contribution niya dyan is more on the first armored carriages. So, that is used for transporting cash, okay, from one bank to another. Okay, so, the invention na makikita nyo ay yung nasa taas, yung mas luma. And then the second one is yan yung latest na design ng mga bank natin, di ba? Na ginagamit nila in transporting money or valuables. But actually, yung idea na yan, ang first na nag-create ng mga yan is si Washington Perry Brinks. Sumunod naman dyan, number 5, si George Wackenhut. So, kilala siya as a retired FBI agent. And according to his biography, yung taong yan po ay marami ding pinagdaanan yan. So, he applied several times in FBI bago siya natanggap. So, he is known as the one who formed the Wackenhut Corporation. He named it before his name. It is the enterprise. Okay, sumunod yan na nakilala as one of the largest private security companies in the US, aside from the first personality that we've mentioned a while ago. So that is George Wackenhut. And take note, that was in the year 1954. We have here some definition of terms that you need to familiarize because you are going to encounter these as we go on with our subject. So meron dyan industry. So ano nga ba ang pinupoint out or ano ba ang ibig sabihin ng industry? So it is a large earnest or constant application to work or businesses. So it pertains to businesses. Okay? So production, just like in private establishments or private companies. So those are an example of industry. Okay, and then special branch of productive work, and lastly as a large scale production. So that is what is meant by industry. So it pertains to businesses, productions, manufacturing industries or manufacturing companies. And for industrial naman, pertaining to or engage in industry. So engage in those businesses. Okay, engage in those private companies. So that is meant by industrial. So as you can see in the picture, that is somewhat an electronic or food production company. So in other words, industrial as an adjective, having highly developed industries. So modernized, in other words. And then next here is management. So ano ba ang management? So pinaka-importante ito, especially in an organization, di ba? Sabi dyan, it is the skillful use of means to accomplish a certain purpose. So yun, pagiging organized, in other words. So you need to in order for you to keep your company, you need to manage them well. Okay, and another one, it says here, process of properly utilizing available resources to achieve organizational goals and objectives. So management, its concern is more on achieving goals and objectives. So yun, paano mo ba i-operate yung company mo, or let's say business mo. So yun, you make sure meron kayong division of work. Hindi lang iisa yung magtatrabaho. Let's say, yung business mo is, let's say, a restaurant. So, kapag restaurant yan, kaya ba yan ng iisang tao? No. Okay. So, dahil napakaraming trabaho dyan. So, sa restaurant, i-consider mo sino yung in charge sa kitchen. So, meron dyan taga-luto. Meron dyan dapat taga-hugas ng pinggan. Pero kung maliit lang yan na restaurant, of course, pwede siguro iisa yung nasa kitchen. Pero mas maganda, merong tagaluto. So, meron yung division of work. Parang ganon. And then, sino yung in charge doon sa pagdi-deliver or doon sa hahatid ng mga pagkain. So, yun. Sino yung mga waiter? So, there should be a waiter also. So, meron ka na dapat 3 tao. Sino yung hahawak ng pera? So, there should be a cashier. And then, sino yung magme-maintain ng peace and order dun sa security mo? I mean, dun sa business mo. So, you need to hire a security officer or security guard. So, that is an example of skillful use of means. Okay? So, yun, kapag meron ka nun, there's a tendency mag-success ka dun sa business mo. Right? So, that is management. Security management naman, naidagdag lang naman dyan yung term na security. So, of course, it is specifically more on skillful use or management of security systems. Okay, so, dyan nalalabas yung pag-organize mo or pag-install mo ng bawat security items, okay, or security measures in your establishment. So, yun. Pupunta na dyan. How are you going to manage yung money? Paano mo ibabudget yan para makakuha ka ng mga kinakailangan mong security items, just like CCTVs. Okay? So, you are going to manage that. Magbibigay ka ng budget para dyan. Okay? paano mo ano pa, yun, ano pa yung kailangan mo? Kailangan mo lang ba is mga CCTV cameras? No. Kailangan mo din siguro dyan security guard. So, yun, you need to hire men. Okay, in order to make sure that your establishment is safe or secured. Meron din dyan yung aside from CCTV, aside from CCTV, meron yung tinatawag natin, pwede yung bill traps na tinatawag natin. So, ilagay natin para in times na merong mga robbers, okay? And then, kinuha nila yung bill dun or yung pera dun sa cashier or dun sa, sabihin natin na dun sa pinaglalagyan nyo ng pera or the teller, uh, pag tinanggal nila yon, gagana yung bill traps kapag meron kang in-install. Okay, so that is security management. Focus on security. So, yung management kanina na pinag-usapan natin, mas malawak, broad yung term. So, tignan nyo lang naman yung wordings. So, security management, specific na yan, purposely in security. Industrial security naman, tinutukoy dito, security measures applied to business industries. So, dalawa yung pwede niyang tinutukoy dito. So, security measures applied in business industries. So, ito yung mga pag-install natin ng mga CCTV cameras dun sa industries natin or industry na yon, let's say dun sa establishment na yon. So that is in industry one meaning of industrial security. But here we have the second one, the business of providing security and protection to private individuals. So ito na papasok yung mga security guard forces natin na nasasakop ng RA 5487. So meron na tayo dyan, private security agencies. Okay? And then, yan is ginagawa nila dyan, nag-hire sila or nagtitrain sila ng mga individuals. Okay? Yung mga private security agencies na yan, they trained individuals, they hire individuals, and yan, yung mga individuals na tinitrain nila na mga yan, they are the future security guards or private detectives. And then, ang gagawin nila, they are going to let them work in certain companies by contracts. Okay? So, yun, maghahanap sila ng lugar kung saan nila i-deploy yung mga tinrain nila na mga security practitioners na ito. So, that is industrial security. Providing security to private individuals, not only in private individuals but private businesses or private enterprises. So, just like na lang yung mga nakikita nyo dyan sa paligid. Meron dyan yung iba't ibang private security agencies. Ma-identify nyo sila through observing yung mga nakatatak na logo doon sa mga uniforms nila. So, that is industrial security. Industrial security management naman dyan is papasok yung trabaho ng isang manager or isang owner ng security agency. So yun, skillful handling of the security and safety measure of business enterprises and industrial establishments. Okay? Not only the private security agency but the owner of a company also. Kasi concern din yan is security. Meron kasi yung tinatawag natin na company security guard force, wherein ang difference niyan sa private security guard force ay yung private security agency, yan is under, private security guards, they are under the private security agency itself. Pero yung mga company security guard force, they are employed by the company itself. Okay, yung kumpanya mismo yung nag-hire sa kanila, nagpapasahod sa kanila. Okay, walang parang third party na private security agency na nakikipag-contract para sa kanila. Okay, so that is the difference between company security guard force and private security guard force or private security guard. So anyway, don't worry, we are going to discuss further on that as we proceed in our lesson. So meron naman dito yung hazard. So these are the conditions that may cause damage to property, injury, or loss of life. Or in other words, exposure to the chance of loss or injury. So that is hazard. And then lastly, now, it is in number 8, vigils. So ano yung mga vigils? So it is part of the history of industrial security. So sa Rome, meron sila yung tinatawag na vigil. So ano yung mga trabaho nila? they are usually involved in fire prevention. So, fire brigade. So, taga-apula ng sunog usually yung trabaho nila. Pero yon isa rin sa mga karagdagang trabaho nila is to arrest yung mga magnanakaw. Okay? So, yan yung vigils. So, the origin of watchmen. Okay? So, that is in room. It starts in room. Meron din yung tinatawag natin dito sa number 10, the target hardening. So in other words, the reduction in criminal opportunity. By how? Paano natin marireduce yung criminal opportunity or yung tendency na tayo ay mabiktima ng krimen? So by yon establishing or installing physical barriers, kagaya ng nasa picture na nakikita ninyo. Or if not, architectural design nung establishment natin. Okay, yung design ng area natin, okay, tignan natin, make sure natin na yung wall natin makapal para hindi mas madaling mapasok sa pamamagitan ng pagtibag. Baka mamaya, simpleng martilyo lang yung ginamit, matitibag na agad yung wall mo. So that is a weakness or vulnerable yan. Vulnerable para mapasok agad-agad yung establishment mo. So, involved din ang architecture dyan sa security or crime prevention in a certain establishment. Okay? Architectural design. That is just only one example. Napakaraming pwedeng may example dyan. And enhance security measures of a particular location. So, yon kung makikita mo na prone yung establishment mo, malapit sa mga residential areas, maraming tao or mataong lugar, that's the time you can consider dagdagan mo yung security installations mo. So, siguro mga CCTV cameras, mga alarm systems, detections, sensors, okay? And dagdagan mo yung security guards mo. So, that is what we so-called target hardening. So, the main purpose of that is to reduce criminal opportunity. That's it. Meron din yung tinatawag natin na defensible space. So, dito, making inhabitants a key agent to their security through the physical characteristics of their residential environment. So, in California, meron tayo yung example dyan. Titignan natin ito, nasa picture. So, for other purposes, itong defensible space din, it is also involved in fire control. Kasi makikita nyo dyan, meron yung, sa picture, makikita nyo merong 100 feet. Okay? Merong mga distances from the parking space, from the trees, from the window to the trees, merong certain or standard distance para yun ay may purpose yun. Merong security purposes yun. So, tignan natin dito. For number 1, sabi dyan, leave space between planted vegetation. So, anong purpose niyan? The space can prevent pathways that allow fires to spread. So, it is more on fire control. So, yun, pag merong sunog, especially pag during dry season, mainit na panahon, prone tayo sa fire or madaling masunog yan kasi tuyong-tuyo yung mga lupa and then yung mga damo. So, madaling masunog. So, for that purpose, sabi dyan, leave space between planted vegetation. So, that's it for number 1. Number 2, create fuel breaks such as driveways, gravel walkways, and or lawns. Parang yan nandyan sa picture natin. Okay, and then dispose of tree trimmings. So, ibasura ninyo yung mga pinag-ipunan ninyo na mga damo or mga leaves. Okay, na mga tuyo-tuyo na. Okay, so you need to dispose those para rin sa fire control. Okay? So usually it is more on fire control itong defensible space na ito. Pero meron din purpose yan in security. As makikita natin yan as we proceed. So cut grass down to a maximum height of 4 inches, moving before 10 a.m. and never hot or windy days. Consider trimming grass with a swing trimmer. So, ito kasi ay in California yung location niya. Pero, tinitingnan lang natin para ma-explain natin yung defensible space. So, ito, distancing ng puno, simpleng distancing ng puno from another trees, merong purpose yan. Merong security purposes yan. Simpleng pagtapon ng basura or ng mga debris, yung mga tuyong dahon, merong purpose yan. So, yan yung tinatawag natin na defensible space. Tingnan pa natin dito yung mga ibang tips na sinasabi dyan. Remove surface litter. So, such as leaves, pine needles, twigs, bark cones, just like in number 4. Okay? So, yan yung number 5 and 4. Number 6 naman, remove lower 3 branches at least 6 feet from the ground. Okay, so the purpose din dyan is yun kasi meron yung mga damo, baka maabot yan pag nagkaroon ng sunog, maabot yung dried or yung tree branches na yan. So, tendency aakyat, masulog yung puno. Okay, for the next one is in number 7, keep the rain gutters clear. Okay, so yun para hindi naman matabunan or in other words, takpan yung daanan ng tubig. Take note, ang security is free from distraction, free from loss, or free from harm, di ba? So yun, tendency kapag natakpan yan, it can cause the destruction of your house, destruction of the gutter, involving na dyan, malalagay sa alanganin yung, or malalagay sa danger ang iyong pamilya. Okay, papasukin ng tubig ang iyong bahay. Okay, and then siguro at a very long time, magkakaroon ng breakage or rusting dyan sa bubong ng bahay mo, then tendency it can be a hazard. Pwedeng kinalawang na yan, mamaya biglang matumba yan. Okay, and then matamaan yung pamilya mo or member ng pamilya mo. So that could be a just an example to show how important is that. And then for number 8, move flammable materials away from your home such as wood piles or propane tanks. Okay, so ilayo mo sa bahay mo. So meron din yan yung mga mayroong shop. Okay, ingatan yung mga paggamit ng mga tanks. So open space dapat yan. Okay, so another one in number 9, separate items that can catch fire from trees, shrubs. So yung mga light materials, be careful in use of those. So yung mga pinaglalagyan nyo doon, at least pag-isipan ninyo, i-consider ninyo yung security kung saan nyo yun ilalagay. Alangan naman niya, yan ay light materials, ilalagay mo doon sa shop ninyo. Okay? Kung saan ka nagwe-welding, saan ka nagtatrabaho as a welder, or kung saan ka nagpo-perform ng metal works. So, yun, tendency pwedeng masunog yung light material, madamay yung mga kabahayan mo. And number 10, strategically landscape with fire-resistant plants. So, you can plant, meron daw yung mga plant na fire-resistant. Okay? Or yung mga hindi madaling masunog. So, as to the specific name, hindi natin nakuha. Pero in California, they have that. So, ito is in California kasi siya. Pero yan is tinutukoy natin is more on defensible. Pinipresent natin ang defensible space. And then trim branches that hang over your roof. Kung is double purpose yan. Kung makikita niyo sa picture, 'di ba, meron yang puno nakatabi sa window. Pwede yan magamit ng isang criminal or perpetrator or robber na daanan. Okay? Aakyat siya sa puno and then tatalon siya sa bintana mo. So, maintain space between that. Enough space para hindi magamit ng isang perpetrator yan para mapasok ang iyong bahay. So, that is one purpose aside from fire control. And number 12, only plant low-growing shrubs or trees near power distribution lines. Okay? So, wag kang magtatanim ng puno dun sa tabi ng poste. Diba? Pag lumaki ang puno or pine tree dyan, magkasing tangkad na sila ng poste, of course, yung mga wire niyan sasagi dun sa mga branches nung puno. So, that is what we meant by defensible space. So, take note, hindi lang yung security na mini-mention natin is free from fear. Meron yung tinatawag natin na free from distraction. So, yun, na-include natin yung fire control. Kasi sunog din, it causes distraction, di ba? So, it causes the breaching or breaches. It breaches the security. Okay, existence of security. And then lastly, we have here the ASIS, or the American Society for Industrial Security. That was in the year 1955, and it is considered as the world largest organization of security professionals. So that's it for this video presentation, and then we are going to continue this more in our video recordings as we go on. So that ends our video presentation for today. And again, reminder for those who have a question or concerns, queries, you can just comment those queries on our comment section, or if not, you can just save those questions and you can raise those questions when we are going to meet in our synchronous class. And lastly, wait for further announcement, updates in our GCs, and also I will be posting our video presentations, next video recordings for our subject or next topics in our GCs also. Please wait, and then always keep in touch and read instructions or read announcements in our GC. So just simply keep in touch in our GC, and that's it. Thank you for watching.